Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. What are we going to do today? Well, we're going to go ahead and put in a new radiator in the Nova. The old one, not that it was bad, it was okay. The problem is, when I purchased the car, and again this is back in 2008, the previous owner decided they were going to cram in this super wide radiator. Which you would think, okay, like, that makes sense. You're making a lot of horsepower, maybe the thing's overheating. However, when the opening to the radiator is the exact same size of what a stock radiator would be, it doesn't matter how wide that radiator is, it's not going to get any cooler. In addition to that, we're going to go ahead, we're going to throw a fan shroud on there because it didn't have one. So nothing like chopping your fingers off when you go in there and you go to lift up the hood or you go to start it, and you just gotta be careful. So we're going to get the fan shroud on there. In addition to that, I'm going to go ahead, I do have a battery tray for the car. This car did not have a battery tray. So it basically had the battery sandwiched to the inner fender well next to the radiator. Nothing holding it down. Huge no-no. You want to make sure that you want to do things right. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get the battery tray buttoned up, get that in there, get the radiator in there, fill it up with coolant, run it for a little bit, make sure we're good to go. I do have to get the throttle cable done on this as well. When Debo D was down here last, we had some issues with the brakes. Now, we did convert this car to front disc, and we also threw a 4-speed. When we did that swap, you have to get hoses and spindles, and you have to go ahead and get the caliper. And on the passenger caliper on this car, the bleeder is extremely stuck. So I've blasted it with penetrating oil. I want to see if I could go ahead and get it to crack. Hopefully I don't strip it out the rest of the way. Debo D said that it started to round, so I was like, hey, let it go. But the brakes are a little spongy. When I went and I pulled off the cover, the rear fluid was completely gone. So we had fluid in the front, we did not have fluid in the back, so the brakes are spongy. So obviously I don't want to drive the car, without brakes. Got to make sure that we're able to stop and start. I did go ahead then and toss a battery in this thing to try to crank it over, and nothing cranked. So went over to the local auto parts store, picked up a new battery with the go handle, and hopefully we can go ahead and get this fired up. So stay tuned. Trying to get the battery tray actually installed properly. Well, we can't. You take a look at the radiator itself. The radiator is too wide. Whoever had this car before me put that in there, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was for like a cooling issue, which to me serves no purpose, because if you look at the core support, it's only as wide as it's going to be. Hopefully you can see that with the light. Maybe you can, but it's literally only from here to here, and the radiator is even wider than that, so it makes no sense. So I went onto the Jungle website and I grabbed this radiator here. This is supposed to be an OE swap. We're gonna find out. And this is also the same manufacturer that I used when I did the 56. So let's give it a shot. Other thing I did is I installed the battery tray. Now at first, I actually took these bolts that came with a kit I purchased, and I was putting them downwards, but it's not going to attach to anything. So there's already a bolt right here. I unscrewed that. I got the tray to line up perfectly. You actually screw these in from the bottom. So on the passenger side, I'll show you the best I can. I have antifreeze everywhere. So up top. Hopefully you can see that. But there's 2 bolts that I did right from the bottom, and it actually secures the tray. So the tray's not going anywhere. First time that's had a battery tray since 2008. Alright guys, so this is the after. Used the original hose that was on here, forced it on as far as I possibly could. I thought for sure it would go all the way through, but the old radiator, the little nipple that came out of this wasn't very long compared to this one. I did go ahead, I got the fan shroud on there, everything lines up. I did buy a hardware kit from Ground Up. That literally came with everything, all the nuts and bolts and everything I needed to go ahead and get this up and running. Now this top plate was originally on the car. They just happened to shove the wider radiator underneath it and made it work. I did route the overflow, so I know this isn't the best, I get it, but especially with the you know, the battery sitting right here. But I routed the hose behind here, and then I have the overflow tank sitting in the back. I've seen some people mount them right here. I just thought it would look uglier than what it looks like already. Debo D did get the wiper motor. Valiant effort. It does not work, but we don't have the gaping hole in there. Now, what I'm going to also try to do is I'm going to try to get the charred throttle cable completely swapped out. Probably about a year or two ago, we went to go fire this thing up, and then all of a sudden, poof, big spark. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Well, it completely fried the cable. You can still kind of see, you know. And what happened? Well, the positive was actually touching the block on the starter. So it was on the starter, and it was also hitting the block. So not good. Not good at all. The seat wasn't tight at all. Who the hell put this in here? It's almost like whoever did it knew that I was going to go ahead and pull the seat back out to do the throttle cable. We'll go with that. This cable's fucked. This out. Oh, I know. Let me grab a pair of fucking tin snips. Cut the bitch out. There it is. It goes through it separately. That cable was cooked. This should pull right out. Alright guys, you be the judge on this, but this is the piece that actually goes to the gas pedal, right here. But I'm pretty sure this whole cable has to come out, because it's got to slip through this. There is no way to put it other than that. So this whole cable has to come out of this assembly. So I have to disconnect this part right here and pull it through. Okay. Goes through here. I think I have to fish this through. This part goes through the gas pedal, and this would go right back through here. I think I have to go back into the car. Put this through first. I think this is a little fried, wouldn't you say? I mean, look at that. That's charred. Alright guys, back in the car, just to kind of show you what I was doing. So, throttle cable has to go through the... knocking shit over. Has to go through that little opening right there. behind that, which hopefully you can see that right there, is what I was threading on, so that doesn't go anywhere. Now, when we go back underneath the car, we get to measure one time and hope for the best. So here goes nothing, and hopefully I don't jack it up, because essentially we need to cut this, has to route, so we have to cut this, has to route through this, and then it's going to connect right there. Alright guys, so throttle cable is in. It fought me tooth and nail. Honestly, the hardest part was actually getting the throttle cable to connect right here. I was recording and my battery died, unfortunately. What I used to actually get it was an old zip tie trick. So if you take a zip tie and say, for example, it's right here, you go ahead and you tighten the zip tie. Now enough that like you can slide it back and forth. So what I did was, after I got a lot of the, like we'll call them strays, braided, of the braided cable snipped away, I put the zip tie over top of it. And then I took the zip tie and I just started pulling it closer, 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 closer. And what it does is it actually smushes down any of the strays you have from the braided cable, and then it allows you to slide it right in there. But unfortunately, I did not get video of that. But again, if you run into that, go ahead and give that a shot. I apologize, guys. I'm a little out of breath. It is like 9,000 degrees out here. I have a toolbox with tools and all kinds of crap everywhere. But I went and installed the Debo D Don't Scratch the Paint 3000. That's this right here. So now if I go ahead and open the door, and then say like we just do like a oops, I hit it. Well, now with my anti-scratch deterrent, the paint will be perfect. All right, guys, I figured since the seat was out, give you an idea of what the interior looks like. Again, Debo D and I going in and out of this car. It needs a little cleaning. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything sucked up, cleaned up. Got the Shop Vac 7000 over here. And then I'm going to try to get this car out of the garage so I can get the Challenger back in here and we can get this cleaned up. Alright guys, so the car is idling. Officially it's been running for about maybe 5 minutes-ish. I do believe the radiator opened, or I'm sorry, the thermostat opened. Do have a small little leak. Interior, got the carpets in there, throttle cable's done. Got to clean up the shifter, got the driver's seat back in. Gotta address the dash pad, but that's for another day. Wow, that looks nice. Please tell me the hardware is with it. Oh, no. I did get the hardware. Hiding. I just want to show you, like, that's the old one. Not that it, oh, it's upside down. Not that it's not usable. It is. I just felt this would look a lot better. So you can kind of see the two. I do have the Chevy emblem. So guys, kind of funny thing, I ordered this from Classic Industries, and then I went ahead and also ordered the Chevy bow tie emblem. Well, last night was garbage night for me, so I was like, oh no, did I accidentally throw them out? Because I can't find the bow tie anywhere. So I just went and dug through all the garbage before the garbage guy got here to find out. I moved it to the stand. So I went garbage diving for nothing. Alright guys, have the latest episode of DeFonzie's Garage playing in the background. Wow, I'm still working on the Nova. So even though Debo D is not physically here, he's here in spirit. That's my boy. So what are we going to do now? We're going to go ahead and put the infamous Nova emblem on the deck lid. There is absolutely nothing there. Just to kind of show you, it's still kind of a wiring nightmare. If you tuned into the latest episode, when you hit the brake lights, the front lights turn on. I don't know. Brand new weather stripping, that is all completely done. This is all brand new. Well, yep, looks like the seal, I think, is holding. Yeah. So this is the deck lid. Nothing there. Just holes and spiders. So I'm going to install the Nova. That's what it looks like out of the package. I swear GM back in the day must have made a killing on these little rib nuts because they're everywhere. That's literally holding every piece of trim on this car. Alright guys, we're gonna get under the car. I did just do some JB welding. The bell housing is actually cracked. Right there, where the starter goes in. I don't know how it got cracked or when it got cracked, but it's cracked. Now that I'm looking at my JB weld, I feel like I should get more. Yeah, I'm gonna get more. Got a leak from somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna make more JB weld mix. I did spray the brake bleeders. We got soft pedals. Even though this stuff is new, it was new 15 years ago and it's been sitting. So we gotta get that cracked in order to get our brake pedals back.